as we go further into the month of June, we begin to look towards the east for the possibility of systems developing. But it is rather early for this time of the year. But even so, the Atlantic is getting active. There are a couple of systems out there, and we'll be talking about those later on. But earlier today, there were some showers coming through, and obviously some of those turning thundery out towards the capital port of Spain and along western areas of Trinidad. But most of the rainfall has actually been further towards the north, that is across St Lucia. But further to the east, at this time of the year, we don't usually expect any systems to develop towards the Atlantic there, but the outlook from the Met Service is to see possibly 3 to maybe 6 named storms forming in our area of interest, which extends from Trinidad and Tobago out towards the Cape Verde Islands. And it is just there, just south of the Cape Verde Islands, that we are watching an area of low pressure that has a low chance of developing, possibly about 20%, because it is basically fighting some dry air as well as some unfavorable winds towards the north. But as it moves closer towards the island chain over the weekend and into early next week, we could be seeing something developing with the possibility of it becoming rather slow developing into the early part of next week. Meanwhile, out towards the Gulf of Mexico, this area is where we tend to find most of our activity early in the hurricane season for the month of June, and there is some development possible here as we go through the next few days. But as we said before, out towards the Atlantic, there's a lot of dry, dusty air coming in off of Africa, and also some unfavorable strong winds at the top of the atmosphere. You can just pick those out there as they head out towards the east, and obviously there's a lot of that dry air sinking in towards below that and coming into the Caribbean. So as we look towards Tobago, then we will likely still see a few clouds, showers going through overnight into the early hours. Possibility of a couple of clouds maybe turning a thundery out towards the afternoon, but overall we'll be basically seeing that band of clouds slipping south from Tobago, going back down towards Trinidad, and eventually clearing into the Grenada and into Georgetown as we go through the latter half of tomorrow. So definitely looking for a bit more in terms of a few showers at times, not as much as we had during the day. As the day cools, most of the showers should abate, but once you get into the afternoon, we'll likely still see a few more showers, possibility of them turning heavy or thundery down towards the western areas of Trinidad, and particularly down towards the south coast as we go later on in the afternoon and in towards the evening. So overall then, for those of you who are looking to head out tonight, it will be a mild night for quite a few of you, especially in the towns. 24 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's high set in Trinidad possibly 33, and looking at 30 to 31 in Tobago. Once we lose most of the clouds come late on Friday, we'll get into a lot of sunshine on Saturday, particularly for Tobago, and then we'll see another tropical wave, possibility of some systems pushing closer, likely bring some showers then into Sunday and Monday, particularly for Trinidad. So we'll be watching that as we go through the next few days. Meanwhile, for mariners as well as bathers, you're noticing just a slight chop for the most part, 1 to 1.5 out in the Caribbean. We're likely to see smooth conditions in the Gulf of Paria, and for further afield out in the Atlantic, 2 meters in an easterly swell of 8 seconds. Now, basically across many parts of the Western Caribbean, there's a lot of moisture beginning to build. A set of tropical waves are starting to pile up out there towards the west, and this is where we'll likely still see a lot of moisture and a lot of showers, especially as we go through the next few days. So looking towards Jamaica, into parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, a lot of the convection here staying in the western half of the Caribbean, and that's where we'll likely still see a lot of those showers erupting from time to time. So Kingston then seeing the afternoon thunder shower, 32 degrees Celsius. Also Havana seeing just a partly sunny skies, possibility of some showers further inland across the hills. But out towards the Windward Islands, here we have been seeing a lot of rainfall disrupting the cricket there in St Lucia. Also some gusty winds up to tropical storm force, 60 odd kilometers per hour, as we've been seeing over in noon at Castries. So we'll likely still see some of that early on in the morning, but that should eventually clear. And down towards Georgetown, still some heavy rains likely, with the possibility of the ITC set hanging around there for the next few days. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.